apart from the amazing weather up here in far north Queensland and the really good fishing, barramundi and so on, it's also a really good place to forage for fruit. Native species and also a lot of introduced species from all around the world have made their way here and are growing wild, growing in parks. Mate, there's so much around here, it's just so abundant. If you know where to look, you know what to look for, you can easily get a really good feed of amazing tropical fruit. Check it out, you're not going to believe it. This very inconspicuous looking tree here in the middle of the CBD. Wow, who knows what these are? Check out all these bad boys. All right, time to get the coconut pole out. So today my coconut pole is actually going to be used as a fruit pole. Now this is a black sapote tree and I've been eating off this tree for years now. Every time I'm in far north Queensland in this area, I'll come around July, August, September, October and pick as many fruits as I can, eat them, share them out with other people in the community, share them with people walking past. Yeehaw, let's get some. All right, check them out, black sapotes. So I'm just picking the bigger ones that are nice and green at the moment. There's a lot on there that aren't ready yet. These guys are also known as chocolate pudding fruit. And I'll show you why in a second. Now here's one I just picked up off the ground and it's almost ready. As you can see, it's quite dark inside. And when it's really, really ripe and ready to eat, it's actually dark brown, like chocolate. How you going? This is a black sapote. Would you like some? It's kind of like a bland taste. It's not sweet. Like, don't open it until it goes really soft. Inside will be dark, kind of like that one down there. And like people usually add their own sweetener. I add honey or even maple syrup. And even coconut. Actually, I'll give you a good one. I'll give you a bigger one. Yep, you'll know. No worries. All good. Thank you. Yeah, people always walking past looking, wondering, what is this? What's this guy doing? When I'm up here, these would have to be my favourite fruit to eat. They're really rare. You don't see them in many other parts of the country. They don't really grow in the colder climates. Oh yeah, come on. Oh, always got myself in the head with that one. At the same time, I'm also doing a bit of a service to the community because there's parking spots here. And as you can see, not many people parked here because all the locals know that these bad boys fall on people's cars and, you know, make a mess of them. So it's a service to everyone. I get a feed, clean up the street a bit and feed other people as well. Hello. You want to try some? There you go. It's a black sapote.
Ah, and that inside.
You know this one,
like
yeah.
Chocolate.
It's like, yeah, chocolate pudding fruit. Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can make it like a dessert with this.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So
now.
make sure it goes really soft.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you want them really soft on the outside, like very soft.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can open
feel
it.
This.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Ah, before my friend does give me some.
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome.
Right. Thank
No,
you.
you keep for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
No worries, all good. Have a good day. Ho ho, yeehaw. We've got heaps so far. I'm gonna fill up this bag and we'll keep moving. Ho ho, check it out. We got a whole bag full of them. They'll keep me going for a little while until I'm back in this area again, maybe in a month or so. Benny! My mate just drove past from northern New South Wales. Hey bro, here you go.
Hey!
Put you in the
What's going on,
YouTube.
bro?
How are you, my bro?
Yeah,
I'll put you in the
good.
YouTube video.
Oh, no way. I was pulled up.
Good to see you, my bro. What are you doing? Where are you going?
I was going to get some stuff from the shops.
Okay, sick. I'll see you on the road, bro. I'm a couple days behind you.
Oh, cool.
Yep, going north. Hey, doggy.
Oh, you're going to go well north.
You're going to go well north. On the road, it can be a very small world. You run into people from other states all the time, people that you met years ago, out in the middle of nowhere. So amazing. Wow. All right, to the next location. This time we're going to be getting some native Australian bush tucker. Yeah, what a beautiful day. Oh yeah, another very inconspicuous looking tree. Now this is actually a native species. And if you look really careful at the foliage, there's these really large clumps of fruits growing. There would have to be thousands of fruits growing on this tree right now. It is absolutely so abundant. And on the ground is absolutely littered with these dark little purpley black fruits absolutely everywhere that have just fallen off the tree. And even old ones, which are just seeds left over from the last few years. Unbelievable. We got Burdekin plums. Now these guys, I love them. They're located around rainforests in Queensland. And interestingly, they're also native to many islands around the north of Australia, like Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, and so on. I believe even the Philippines, which is really interesting because it shows us that in the past, the lands must have had some kind of connection, whether it was through birds spreading the seeds or the land being closer and perhaps touching at one point before it spread apart. It tells us something very interesting about the land. All right, I've got my little cotton bag, perfect for collecting fruit and native bush tuckers. So I'm just going to pick up as many as I can off the ground. Now, when you first pick them up, they're usually quite hard and you can't eat them. You have to wait for them to go just a little bit soft. Oh, yes. Just so many plums on the ground, just sitting here, waiting to be collected and eaten. There's just so bloody many, I can't believe it. We've absolutely hit the jackpot today. Waiting to be collected. I don't need to get the coconut pole out and do any kind of work. They're just ready, and you can see, you know, the ones that have just been already eaten by birds and animals, and there's just little seeds left behind. I just can't believe how abundant we are today. There's so many plums here, just waiting to be collected by me and eaten and shared with the community. There's a lot of people that have never tried these, and I like to give them the opportunity to try out a Burdekin plum. What I like to do is I'll put them in this beautiful cotton bag and just put them in a nice dark place to soften up. Now, the native people of the lands in the olden days, what they used to do was they would actually just dig a hole and bury them in the ground to help them ripen up and go soft. And in modern times, I know that people usually use these to make jams and sauces. But personally, I'm pretty simple, and once they go ripe, I like to just eat them like that. I think they're amazing. They're a bit tart, they're not really sour. They've got quite an explosion of different flavors, and for me, they're just a really good snack. You know, when you feel a bit snacky, you feel like having some chocolate or something, I like to just have a few of these. We are absolutely winning at the moment. I've got at least 3 kilos in here already, at least. Probably one of my favorite, I'd say they'd be in my top 10 favorite Australian bush tuckers. Definitely the top 10, maybe even top 5. Check out the leaves. Just such a inconspicuous looking tree with dark fruits all over it. Thousands and thousands and thousands of fruits growing on this bad boy. And if we look closer at the actual tree itself, rough bark. From a distance, you wouldn't even think that this was anything to eat, anything special at all. All right, let's try one now. Let's find a soft one. This one here has gone a little bit soft, and you can see some dimples in it. And if I press on it, it just goes in a little bit. That's the size of the seed, so don't go biting into it because you'll break your tooth. All right, so just on the outside, I'm just gonna scrape that flesh off with my teeth. And that's pretty much perfect. It should be like a dark purple color. Now, if you leave it a little bit too long, they start to ferment and they don't taste very nice. And the color inside changes as well. So you really want it when it's like that color. and it's a little bit tart. It's got quite an explosion of different flavours in there. They're really amazing. I love them. I can sit there and eat 20, 30 of these easily. These are great. Burdekin plums. I'm going to keep as many seeds as I can and try and disperse them around because we need more of these growing all around Australia. Some beautiful paths around here, so I decided to just go for a little stroll and just see what we can find. Alongside the mountain here, a bit of rainforest, a little bit of dry scrub as well. And there's also a mangrove system here on Tidal Creek. So hopefully find something else. All right, what we got down here? Oh, beautiful. Oh, it's a mullet there. You can see here, there's heaps of oysters growing on the rocks. I don't want to get eaten by a crocodile just for some oysters, so I'll be leaving them alone today. Let's keep moving. Well, check out these snail shells, they're interesting. If you ever see coconuts on the ground like this, like that kind of thing, that's rats that have eaten into it and had a good feed. Right, it's taken me many years to work out, to learn a lot of bush tuckers. And the process has basically been just going out, being in the wilderness, and as soon as I see something that's interesting, that I think may be edible or may have some special use, I'll take photos of it. I'll take photos of the leaf, the fruit, or anything that it's growing on it, and even the trunk itself, and then cross-reference it back to my resources, which mainly are my books and also the internet. You can always use Google searches and put photos in and get a result. Another really good resource is bush tucker Facebook groups. They're awesome because there's a lot of knowledgeable people on there. If you want to be finding bush tuckers, you're definitely going to be out in the wild, looking around, in your parks, along your riverbanks. You've got to be out there, you know? And I find that a lot of the time when I'm out bush, even if I don't know a certain bush food, I see it, it's usually familiar to me because I've probably read about it in my book. And then that's when you go, oh, that looks familiar, get photos and go back, find out what it is. Oh my God, something's just caught my eye in the distance, up here, up high. What do we got over here? Oh, no way. There's a massive plantation up here of what looks to me, there's an absolute abundance of dragon fruit growing everywhere, even on the ground here. Wow, that looks like a tree that's fallen over. Look at this. Oh my God. Absolutely everywhere I look, there's dragon fruit growing, just wild. In the canopy here. Let's go in. Looks like there's people been walking here. There's a little path. Just dragon fruit as far as I can see. Oh my God. Oh my God, look all the way up there even. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. I've never seen anything like this before. I've seen dragon fruit in the wild. You know, usually it's growing up one tree or on someone's fence or something. But this is growing on multiple massive trees and all along the ground down the side of this big hill. This is so interesting. I want to climb up this mountain and let's see what's going on here. Surely this must have started somewhere by someone. Wow, it's literally a dragon fruit forest. Oh, I hope there's some fruit here right now. That'd be so good. I'm not sure if it's getting enough sunlight because a lot of it is under the canopy. So I guess that would be a factor as well when it comes to fruiting. But either way, this is definitely worth coming back to at some point in time. I've made it to the top where the water's coming out and it looks like someone's sprinkler system. And I can see that there's a house right there behind me. So I'm not going to go any further up and impose on their private property and privacy. So I think I'm going to go back down the mountain that I just came up And I reckon all this dragon fruit must have escaped from that property many years ago, because it is prolific here. Now the hard bit, getting back down. Oh, which way am I going to go? I think I'll go this way. This is so much fun. Going exploring for tropical fruits. Well, I didn't find any fruit this time, but I will still call that a win, because I've just discovered a really good spot. Now, dragon fruit obviously isn't a native Australian bush tucker. It is an introduced species, and it also, very much like the black sapote, it's also native to Central and South America. I'm not sure which variety this one is. It could be the pink one or the white one, but either way, mate, free food. I can't see any fruit. I'm not sure. It's probably just not in season. I'm going to have to ask one of my local people around here, find out when it fruits. Oh, this is definitely a win to the people. Definitely a win. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. All right, back to Gypsy Van. Time for a coconut. Oh, coconut department's getting pretty low. Only got 2 left. Gonna have to go get some more this afternoon. Oh yeah, check out that coconut jelly. Oh yeah, check it out. Just got a nice little mother load of passion fruits grown wild in this little alleyway down here. Perfect. Add to my collection of bush foods and things that are foraged all around far north Queensland. I've got heaps of food now. The more food I forage, the more fish I catch, the more money I have left over for fuel, maintenance and repairs, and all my other necessities. Also means I'm not tied to supermarkets as much, so when I'm out bush, I can sustain myself for much longer. Now, I heard there's some jackfruit around here as well. Let's see if we can get lucky on those. Yeah, jackfruit would be good. Not sure if it's seasoned yet. I'll pull over right here. Oh my God, look at all the jackfruit on this tree. This is amazing. And that one there, going brown, that might be nearly ready. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, they're not ready yet. They're still, it's still way too hard. Can't believe it. This is insane. I've never seen a jackfruit tree with so much fruit on it, and it's not too high either. I can easily get to a lot of these. Oh my God. Oh, another tree over there as well. Right there, there's one more. Definitely coming back to this tree in a few weeks, I reckon. Oh, jackfruit heaven. Look at them, but they're just so hard at the moment. They got to start going a little bit softer, I reckon, and have a little bit more brown on them before you can pick them. Otherwise, it's no good. Jackfruit would have to be one of my favourite fruits to eat as well. It originates from the west coast of India, but it is quite prolific throughout the rainforest up here in far north Queensland, if you know where to look. Obviously that one wasn't ripe yet, but we'll be coming back to harvest some in the very near future. Alright guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned for more bush adventures, fishing, bush tucker and outdoor adventures with Bushman Mick. See you in the next episode. Over and out.